so we're going to be extracting data from AURIN. So AURIN have datasets about pretty well everything, and we're going to be downloading them and hopefully in the next video using them in Mapbox and being able to extract from data from that. Alright, so we're working in AURIN today, and rather than an area selection where you can refine by states and subcategories and things like that, we're going to go to a bounding box. Now I have set this previously just because it's a very difficult one. I've got to get rid of that. Okay, it doesn't like me doing it that way. I'm going to go to Victoria and refine by the local government areas of 2020. And since we're working in Maribyrnong, we're going to go down and find Maribyrnong, so every little town will be on there, and done. I'll come back to my bounding box. So our site is this riverside golf course. So I've taken mainly the main roads is around the bounds around it. So there we have that. Now we're going to browse for data, so I'm going to try and get some building heights. So we're going to search building heights. Building footprint. Try this one, 2019, it's fairly recent. So you always need to tick geometry field and unique identifier. We're going to get the average building height. I might also put the land use type. I don't know if that'll show definitely what we want, but we can add, and we can then go to dataset. So we'll just import, which might take a minute. So here we have the data, so we can see the unique identifier per building, the average building height, so they're all fairly sort of short and small, and we can see that the land use type in this case is not really relevant because they're all residential types. Get that, there shouldn't really, well there is a next page, there's going to be quite a few pages of 1001 buildings in there. But you can download them as your CSV, GeoJSON and SHP files, title or name, however you want to do that. So we're going to close that and we're going to go to the visualize panel now. Right, since that's downloaded, we're going to go to the flood mapping building footprint, click on the little spanner and click display on map. So that'll then come up with this panel. You can change it for however you want, so we're going to leave it as is because it's probably most of the standard thing. I'm going to update and display. So as we can see, we've now got the building heights and land use types in here, and to change it we're going to go over here into this visualize and data panel to be able to change the height. So at the moment we can see that they're all blue, so it might be based on the land use type rather than the building height. Alright, so I've just gone through and edited, so now as we hover over everything we now don't have the land use type, we've just got the average heights. So that should show every building that is in here, so opposite our site, which currently we don't see, probably because the import data has not been there yet. We can go over the road, a lot of these are just average housing, and then over the road here, whoop, too far. There might be some more town housing and bigger buildings, and then down here we've got High Point Shopping Centre. So which is quite a bit taller than everything else, but we're now going to try and colour code per height. So to find different colours by height, we're going to go to Visualize Interactive Maps and Charts, going to Mapping Areas and Polygons, Chloropress, we're going to select the dataset and select the attribute. So we're going to go to the building height, and we can just keep it as the natural brick. So number of classes, we can go from 3, which must be the lowest value, to 12, which is the highest value. Palette type is qualitative. Palettes, you can choose your different color palettes. We'll just stick as the normal. Stick with about 50% default opacity so we can still see the ground, and same with hover. And we're just going to add that and let it process. Okay, so now we have a map based on heights. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so orange we can see is 4.7 to 4.5, so you can probably change these classes based on the average heights to show in meters rather than in point decimals. But now we can have the different heights between 3 and 12 meters based on color. I have now amended it so, as we can see in the classes, we've got about 1 class per every meter. So rather than having all 12 classes, we've now got 5 classes. So it's 3 to 4 meters, or 4 to 5 meters, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 8. So we can see that a lot clearer using the darker colors, as well as seeing everything overall on the map. So now we're going to just download. So when you're downloading, we're going to select a little spanner, and this is so it can put it into Mapbox. Yep. And then we're going to go download shape. So HSP is shapefile, and that'll download. And you'll need this file to be able to upload into Mapbox.